other stuff I do. And we could play some Minesweeper. Minesweeper. We'll take it super slow together and make our way through the board, hoping to dodge any mines along the way, so no speed runs here. Let me go ahead and click somewhere in the middle, and I'll just run through what we'll be doing in case you're not sure how to play. So, on this board of squares we have 99 mines. 99 mines, and if we click on one of them, it's game over. Working in our favor, though, we have these numbers that you can see, and the number that we see shows us in the surrounding 8 squares how many mines we can find. So, for example, we have a little island here that shows a load of ones. If we take this one in the bottom left corner, then we know in the surrounding 8 squares there is 1. Exactly 1 mine. And we only have 1 square that hasn't been shown to us. So we know this is definitely a mine. If I right click it, I can flag it as a mine so I don't accidentally click it. So, with that mine marked, we actually know that for all of these other ones around it, we found all the mines. So this one here, we know the mine is here, and so these 2 squares above it are free from mines. And the same case for this one here. We can click that and be 100% confident that it's not a mine. And now we have some more information that we can work with. This 2, for example. With this we know that in the surrounding 8 squares there are exactly 2 mines. We know where one of them is, and there's only one other square that we haven't clicked, so we know there's a mine there. Just above it, this square here we know is a mine, because of these 3 ones, these 3 ones. And now we've found all of the mines surrounding this 2, and we can click here to reveal another square. What we can also do is click on the number if we're sure that we've marked any mines around it, and it will quickly reveal all of the other squares. So this one, we know that the mine is here, and now I can click that one to reveal all of the other squares. We can do the same for this one just next to it, because this mine here in the bottom left is the mine we're looking for. Perfect. Let's look at this 3. We know where 2 of the mines are, and there's only 1 more square that's in range that we haven't clicked, so we know it's a mine. We know it's a mine. work with. For example, down here, we know that this square is a mine because of this one here, and these ones as well. And so this square is not a mine because of this one here. Because of this one here. Now this 2 and this 1 mean that the mines could be there. There's one mine in one of these 2 squares. And we don't know which square it's in at the moment, so there's not much more we can do here. Not much more we can do. If we look a little bit higher, we can find a 2 and a 1 next to each other. And these are interesting because we can use a little bit of deduction to help us here. This 1 says that in these 3 squares there's only one mine. Only one mine. And this 2 says that in these 3 squares there are 2 mines. 2 mines. However, because these 2 squares just next to it overlap, both the 1 and the 2, we know that this isn't possible, because then we'd have 2 mines around this 1. So we know that there aren't 2 mines here. So we can clear those. And so what that means is that there is a mine either here or here, but not both. So we've covered one of the 2 mines we need for this 2, and that means that there is definitely a mine down here. Definitely a mine down here. Now, in this case, that doesn't necessarily help us too much. There's not much else we can do here, but we can use that kind of principle if we see it crop up. If we see it crop up, and it should be more helpful. For now, why don't we look? We can look at this 3. We found 2 of the mines, and there are only 2 uncovered squares, or covered squares. So we know that the last mine is definitely either here or here. This 1 then means that we can reveal all 3 of these, because if there is a mine here or here, then we've covered the 1 mine we know about. And these 3 were safe. Now we know that there's a mine here because of this 1. And now this 2 has been covered, and we can reveal this. This 3 shows that there is a mine just there, and now this 2 is covered, so we can reveal them all. We can do the same with this 2. This 3 shows that there's a mine there. Shows that there's a mine there. But there's not much else we can do around here. For now, there's too many possibilities to decide on where the mines could be. And there's no point guessing when there's other sections we can work on. So why don't we look somewhere else? Up here, we know that there's a mine here, and there isn't a mine here because of this 1. This 3 shows that there is a mine, just one mine, either here or here. So we we know because of this 1, there isn't a mine here. Perfect. Perfect. Now, because of this 2, we know where one of the mines is, and we know that there's a mine either here or here. So these 3 squares are safe. They're safe. Looking up here at this 2, we know that there's a mine here, and so this 2 is clear. It's clear. This 1 is also clear, and we've revealed a nice island, which is always nice to see. This 2 shows that there's a mine just here. It's the only space in reach of this 2, and now we've found all 3 mines around this 3, so we can clear it. We can clear it. Similarly, this 1 is in range of this mine, so we know that there isn't a mine just there. Just there. There is a mine here because of this 1, and so there isn't a mine here. This 1 shows that there is a mine either here or here, and in either position it clears this 2, so we know that the only other square in range of this 2 down here isn't a mine. It isn't a mine. There's definitely a mine in one of these 2 squares, so these 3 are safe. These 3 are safe. This 2 shows there's a mine there, and we can clear that 1. There is a mine here, and we can clear this 2. There is a mine here, and we can clear this 1, and this 1. That means there's a mine here, and we can clear this 1. This 1 too. This 1 too. Let's see what we've got here now. We have a bunch of 3s and a bunch of 2s just down here. And now, because we've shown a flag, we know that there's a mine here. When we're considering just these remaining squares, then we can sort of consider these 2s and 3s to be 1s and 2s. And so we can do something similar to before. We know that there's a bomb here or here because of this 2 or a 1, considering we've already found a mine next to it. But definitely not both. Definitely not both. We do still need 1 other mine for this 3 or a 2. So we know that there's a mine here. We know that there's a mine here. Although again, after doing that work, it hasn't really got us anywhere. Now, if we wanted to, we could move on to the left side, but we're gonna need to make some progress on this right side eventually. So I think we should look at it and see if we can uncover any other information. Sometimes, because Minesweeper is random, you might be left with a 50-50. Some sort of random chance that you have to guess on. It's unfortunate, but it just happens sometimes. So it's always good to try and get those sorted as soon as possible. Because if you lose the 50-50, then you don't want to waste too much effort. other squares we can guarantee are mines, just based on looking at these numbers. So, we might need to go with one of our 50/50s. Why don't we use our question marks to kind of run through the case where we pick a 50/50? Because we might run into a situation that isn't possible, and then we'd know that this 50/50 isn't the right one. So let's say that this one is the mine. Let's say this one's the mine. So we would have covered this 3. This one isn't a mine. And so this one is a mine. We've covered this 3 here. So this one isn't a mine. And we'd be left without looking at any other revealed numbers with another 50/50 just down here, which is awkward. So that's not ideal. I feel like if we picked the other one, we'd get a similar case. This 3's covered. This one isn't a mine. This one is, and we have another 50/50. I wonder if there are any other sections where we could pick and get some more information. Unfortunately, we've found ourselves in a situation on the right where I don't think we can get any more concrete information to go off of, so we might need to roll the dice a bit. Now we could either pick one of these 50/50s that kind of litter this right hand side, loads of 50/50s we could choose from. But what could be better is working with this 2 that's kind of sat in the middle. We know that there is one mine either above or below it because of this 2 just next to it. So in these 3 squares there is just one mine. So if we click randomly, we have a 66% chance not to hit a mine. I don't really feel like crunching the numbers to see if it would be better to click a random square just floating in the middle. But 66% is better than 50, so why don't we go ahead and click and hope we see like a 1. That would be ideal. Okay, we unfortunately lost the gamble there. Why don't we go ahead with a new game? And hopefully we get a bit lucky at this time. Goodness. I don't like the look of this. Okay, that was again an unfortunate one. Third time's the charm. That looks a lot better. We can go ahead and mark some of these corners where we know there's definitely a mine, because it's the only place where there's a square for these ones. And we can clear some of these other squares that are touching it, where we know we've covered all the mines we're looking for. Just speeding up slightly using some of the techniques we've used before, just to try and get through the early stages nice and quickly. And again, we're marking down where we know there is definitely a mine, and just trying to take it nice and slowly, nice and casual. So we can click there. There's a mine there. This 3 has only 3 squares covered, so we know there are mines in all of them. There's a mine in one of these 2 because of this 2 here, but not both. We still need to uncover another mine next to this 4, so there's definitely one down there. That doesn't do too much for us right now though. Let's look down here at the bottom left. There is a mine there because of the 2. And one here because of this 3. So this 2 is now clear. We have 2 here because of this 3, and we can now clear both of these 2s. This 3 is also done as well, actually. So this 5, we've already found 4 of the mines around it, so there's one either here or here. And in both cases, we will have covered all 3 of the surrounding mines for this 3, so there isn't one here. There isn't one here. 4, we still need to do. We still need to find 2 for that 4. So let's look somewhere else for now. There's a mine here because of that 2, and we can clear this 3 now. There's only 5 surrounding squares that are left covered for this 5, so we can click them all as mines. And then go ahead and clear some of these squares just next to it. This looks good, this looks good. Making some good progress here. These small corner sections are always a bit nerve-wracking because this is where you can find some of those 50-50s. Like when you know there's a mine in one of these 2 and there's no other information you can have. So, 4, we know there's one here and here. This 2 is done. There's one there for that 4. And there's one here for that 3. And right now we just don't know if this is a mine or not. So I'm gonna leave that covered and we'll come back at the end. It might be that we find all of the other mines and we're good to click it. But for now there's no point in clicking that. We can do both of these for that 4 and that one too for that 1. Now for this 4, we also need to mark that as a mine. We can do that for that 1. Clear there. This is 4. This 4 square means that there is a mine either here or here. In either case, we cover the 2 and these 3 are safe. Here we go. Do both of these 2 because of this 2 square here. And both of these 2 because of this 2 square. Now that 4 is safe. We need to mark this because of this 2 here. Now these 1s are safe. Here's the 3. This is an awkward situation. We don't get much more information here. Because this 3 says that there's one here or here. This 4 says that there's one here or here. And this 2 says that there's one here or here. So we're a bit stuck up here. Again, I think I'm going to leave it though because we might end up with enough information about how many mines are left where we don't need to guess. We've also made it 60% of the way through, so that's an achievement. says that there's a mine either here or here. In either case, we cover this 1, and this isn't, this is safe, this square. This 2 means that there is a mine here. And this 3 says that there's a mine either here or here. In either case, we cover this 1, and this square is safe. We can now mark this as a mine because of this 1 here. Let's see. So there's 4. We need 1 either here or here to cover all 4 mines. But this 3 needs 2 more mines uncovered. So there's definitely a mine here. Definitely a mine there. And now this would be a 50-50 as of right now, but we can get some more information, I think. Let's see. So this is a mine because of this 4. And now we've got all 3 around this square, so this is safe. Let's see. So this 3, we actually need both of these squares to be mines. So we can mark both of those, and now 1, 2, 3, 4. This one's safe. 1, 2, 3. That's safe. This one's good. That one's good as well. 4. This one needs to be a mine here. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just double checking, and now we're safe up there. And that's a mine. Perfect. Perfect. Now let's move on to the right hand side where we've got quite a few spaces left. Quite a few spaces left. But we've got some information we can work with. So we're just clearing some of these spaces. As usual. And there's one here because of that too. And so that is now covered. These 2 both need to be mined because of this too. And this one needs to be a mine because of this 3. Down here because of this 1. Now those are safe. These 2 because of that 3. That 2 is now safe. That 4 says that this needs to be a mine. This needs to be a mine. This 2 means that one of these 2 is a mine. In either case, we cover this 3 and this is safe. Now we're safe here as well. Perfect. Perfect. So that is a mine. And now we're safe with this 1. There's 1 here. And 1 here. I love seeing these big islands get revealed. It's always so satisfying. This 3, actually, this 3 says that there's a mine there. Now we're safe there. These are all mines because of this 3. With this 3, we know that there's a mine either here or here. In either case, we cover this 1, and that this one's safe. And now, because of this 1, there's definitely a mine either here or here. And in either case, we cover these 3 squares. And now we know that there's a mine there. Perfect. Perfect. There's 1 here because of the 4. Now that 2 is safe. 1 here because of the 1. And 1 here because of the 3 and the 4. this is a 1. Well, sorry if it's confusing how I say that, but it's just how I see these squares once we've found a mine. So what I mean to say is we know that there is one mine in either this square or this square, but not both. This 2 though needs one other mine to be found, so it's definitely here. Definitely there. There's a 3. Trying to see if we have any information. Here we go. So this 2 means that there's a mine either here or here. In either case, we cover this 1, and this square is safe. As before, this 1 means that there's a mine either here or here. So these 3 squares are safe. Lots of information here. We can do the same with this 1. There's definitely a mine either here or here. So these 3 are also safe. These 3 are also safe. Let's see. Now we can look at, for example, this 2 says that there's one mine here or here, but not both. But for this 3, we still need one other mine to be found, so there's definitely a mine here. And we can clear these and mark down our mine just here. Perfect. Perfect. There's one here because of this 1, and one here because of this 2. We can clear some of these. This 2 means that there's one definitely here. We can clear that, and that one, and some of these as well. That's safe now. Perfect. We've only got a few more small sections to do, and 10 mines left to be found. Let's see what we can work with then. This 3 is now done. We've uncovered all the mines. We have a 4 now. This 2 is also done. Look, we've got both of those. So that's safe. And there's a mine there. Clear those now. So there's 4. We've found 3 of the mines. 1, 2, 3. So there's one here or here, but not both. And we still need one more mine to find for this 3, so there's definitely one there. Definitely one there. And now we have a bit of an awkward situation. We're left with a bunch of 50-50s, really. I don't think there's much more definite information we can find. Why don't we mark down some of these maybes? Just so we know how many more mines we're looking for. I'm only going to put down some of the definite ones though. Like for example, we know that there's one either here or here, and there's one either here or here. But with this 3, if for example we say that the mine is here, then we don't need any more. But if we say that the mine is here, then we need another one. So we can sort of work on a minimum and maximum. We should probably work with the minimum though to stay on the safe side. So there's one either here, there's one here or here for that 2, and there's one here. there's five. There's five kind of in these bordering squares. And in the non-bordering ones we've got three. We might need to go ahead and click one and just hope we don't hit a mine. Let's just double check to make sure we're not missing anything. This 4 means that there's one either here or here. In either case we covered the 3, so definitely these two. These ones are hot zones. There's one here, there might not be one here. Yeah. So we could go with a 50-50, or we know that in 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 7 times 2, 14. So 3 in 17 seems like a better option. I think even more than that, right? We've got these ones down here. In 17, a couple more here. 3 and 19. Let's go with that. I think we're better off just clicking one of these non-bordering squares randomly and hoping we get some information. But I wonder which square might give us the best chance. Probably one of these corner ones, right? Alright, keep your fingers crossed. I'm gonna click this one. Okay. Okay, we're safe. It's a 4. And we've actually covered 3. So there's 1 in these 3. I don't want to go ahead and click one of those then. So there's 1 in these 3 squares. And we've accounted for another mine. So we now know approximately the position of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the 8 remaining mines. So again, we have a pretty good chance of not hitting one if we click randomly. And I'm thinking, how about this one? 2, okay. 2. We know that there's one here, and one in either 2 of these. So there's one more in one of these 3. And we've accounted for 7 of the 8 remaining mines. Can we say it's any of these? Can we say it's definitely not any of these? I don't think so. I'm gonna go ahead and click here. 2. Okay. Now there's definitely one here. This 3 says that there's also definitely one either here or here. So we actually know that all of these top squares are safe. Perfect. And we can start clearing out some of these now. Is that 4? So we're still a bit stuck on those ones. 3, we've counted for those ones. Let's look over here. One here or here. This one is covered. So we can clear that. And now we need one here for that too. And this 3 is now covered. So this one's definitely not a mine. We've already got all 3 of these. So this one isn't a mine. And this one is. Perfect. Let's look up here, one here. So this one says that there's a mine either here or here. In either case, we covered this one, and this definitely isn't a mine. Perfect. Perfect. And now for this 3, we know that there's a mine here and here. So we can clear off some of these other bits. One. This 2 is now done, and that's all good. Okay. So, we've got 3 mines left. We know that there's 2 in these bordering squares. So this is awkward. This is awkward. Let's just go back over this. So we have a 3 here. There's definitely one either here or here. There's a 2 here. So there's definitely one here or here. But we can't squeeze 3 in. We can't squeeze 3 in. That's not possible. So there's only 2. So we have one more mine unaccounted for. And it's either here, or down here. Yikes. That's unfortunate. We're gonna have to roll the dice, I think. Let's see what our best option is. Let me put one there. So these choices would be 50-50, I think. So I think we're probably better off clicking one of these 2 squares. And we have a 66% chance of, I guess, winning. I think this corner one would give us the most information. Cross your fingers. One. Okay, and I think that's it. We know that there's one here or here because of this 2, so this is clear. 2. And we know that this is now mine. And looking at this again, I think we're at a 50-50. I thought we had it. There's one here or here. We know that already. That 2, there's one here or here. Rats. Okay, well, I think we're gonna click one of these squares and it's a 50-50. Which one feels lucky? I know I've put down 2 question marks, but that kind of represented one of the 2 positions. I wonder which one. I don't want to click. Okay, let's go with... I like this corner one. I'm gonna click this one. That was very unfortunate. One of the pitfalls of Minesweeper. I don't think there was any other information we could have got there. Could have been in any of those four squares. So I think we did about as well as we could have done. Down to a 50-50. 99.48% complete though is nice. It's nice to see. But I think that's enough Minesweeper for today. I don't think I could handle another one of those coin flips. So thank you so much for joining me